was that? Okay, so I watched The Changeling and it just tore me up emotionally, which in turn led to physically in the form of tears. So basically, it made me cry. And I think with good reason. That seance scene, like, it moved me to the edge of my seat, right? So if that's what happened in the seance scene, I was like, oh my God. Like when the medium, like assistant or husband or whatever, kept writing help from Joseph. I was like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? And then it just got better. Like, I didn't even think that could get any better. I was like, dang, that was crazy. And then John listens to the tapes when he's home by himself right after the seance and he hears Joseph's little tiny voice, and he like, okay, after that, I was like when that was happening, I was like sinking into my seat. Like at first I wanted to know, and then I was like, this is too much, what's going on, It was crazy. And like when you hear Joseph's little voice and when he shows John what happened, right? Because he's able to like get in there and show him what happened. Oh my God, that's when I was like crying. And I know I wasn't like crazy when Claire's reaction is exactly the same when she hears the tape. She comes back after John calls her, after he faints and everything. She hears the tape. She comes back into the room that he's in, his study or whatever. And she's also crying. And I'm like, girl, yes, I feel the same way. That shit's fucking sad. Yeah, man. I mean, it was a good watch, and that story is definitely something else. And I actually ended up feeling kind of bad for Senator Carmichael at the end of the film because how is that his fault? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't tell Senior Carmichael to choose him as the orphan to take over Joseph's place. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is really sad. And I think Scary Movie 2 taking, some of the scenes and running with it and trying to make it like a funny thing was pretty insane. It's like a way to try to deal with all these, it was a way to try to deal with all these deep emotions, overall in this guy's life where he's just going through all this grief. Not even, it's been less than a year since his family died, you know? I just think back in that scene after he goes horse riding with Claire and he wakes up the next morning and he's like sobbing. How do you ever get over something like that, So then I did wonder, like, why did Joseph want to communicate so much with him? And I wonder if it's just that he wanted to communicate with anyone. Because I guess since people had lived there, they'd always kind of left because things happen. And maybe he just had the patience to stay and, like, try to figure out what was going on, So I think that's really what it was. What about the freaking police, the officer, the Captain DeWatt? I'm just like dying, bro, because he was gonna interrupt the whole thing happening. Like, it was at this point where like the spirit world was like, no, justice will not be served. And it was, and it was insane. When I watch it again, yes, and I am going to watch it again because I convinced Sal to watch it, so I'm gonna watch it with him again. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's amazing. I loved it. I wanted to give it a hug. Like, if you could hug a movie, that's what I would do. Like, I would hug it. It was just very good. I really liked it. The music throughout the whole film, awesome, creepy, eerie, great. Loved it. And yeah. Peace.